For over 100 years, the Bank of Moundville has been a name clients can trust. The Bank of Moundville is more than just a bank. They're your neighbors, your friends, and your community partners. Their unique approach to financial education has always centered around families. They believe that financially strong homes today lay the foundation for a brighter futures for tomorrow's generation. You can call them today at 205-371-2227. Once again, that is 371-2227 to schedule an appointment to build your financial security. The Bank of Moundville is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender. Jeff Bagwell of Honey Hole Fisheries right here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama is a professional biologist who specializes in lake management. If you are interested in helping build the pond or lake of your dreams, or if you need help deciding if property you own is a good location to build a pond, you can contact Jeff Bagwell at 205-799-0192. Once again, that is Jeff Bagwell and Honey Hole Fisheries at 205-799-0192. Contact him today and let him help you build the lake or pond of your dreams, or also stock your pond or lake with fish that you most desperately need. How would you like to live where you love in the state of Alabama? Whether it is you're upsizing, downsizing, retiring at the beach, or relocating for your job, then you are going to want to contact Celeste Hagler, owner of First Class Real Estate South Home Group, with brokers in Tuscaloosa, Orange Beach, and Huntsville. They can help you with the buying, selling, and investment needs throughout the state of Alabama. You can contact Celeste at 205-861-5698. Once again, that is 205-861-5698, and schedule a consultation to discuss your real estate goals anywhere across the state of Alabama. This is the Stingray Show, and hey, let's talk a little SEC college basketball, as we have games tonight, we have games tomorrow night, and then as usual, a full slate of games on Saturday. Your leader atop the SEC standings is still Texas A&M. However, Alabama has fallen to 9th in the conference with a record of 4-4 after getting blown out by Florida on Sunday, I should say. Chris Lee of Southeastern 16 is going to join us on this edition of the Stingray Show to talk all about the hardwood of college basketball right after this open.
Hi, this is Tim Brando with a reminder. Look out, you're about to feel the buzz of Stingray.
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I'm Heath Hopkins. I'm here in DeSoto County, Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee. You know, Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you feel that responsibility to pay it forward and give some kid a chance coming up in the ranks, kind of like Tony did for you?
Why do you think I'm talking to Stingray tonight?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, look, no.
Hey, Stingray, Here's the deal. When you get involved with Texas, it's like getting married to a stripper. and let me explain this. It looks good, kind of sexy on the surface, yeah. But then you get the baggage, you get the drama, you get all that eventually comes with it. And that's what you get with Texas, and that's what the Big 12 learned.
And Heath, any thoughts on our show moving forward?
Hey, with the Stingray Show, if you don't like it, you better learn to love it, because it's the best show going today, baby. Woo!
And with that, I want to welcome you inside the Tuesday edition of the Stingray Show. Hope all is well with you, and we're going to start the Stingray Show off with the nuts and bolts of SEC basketball, and then we will do a post show with all of the fun talk. So let's not keep our guest waiting, who is behind the scenes right now, awaiting to come on to talk all things college and SEC basketball. Here is Chris Lee of Southeastern 16 from right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. Chris, I've got to ask you first off, good morning, and are you finally thawing out up there in Middle Tennessee?
We're getting there. School's back in session here where I am, which is just south of Nashville, and the roads are mostly clear of ice. It was a wild time.
Yes.
Chris, have you been out of the house?
I have. Actually got to the gym yesterday, which was nice. My son's middle school baseball resumed practice yesterday, which was good for them too. I think my son, between the flu and snow days, didn't go to school for 2 weeks. So yeah, we're grateful to get back in routine.
That's 2 Christmas breaks.
I know.
He won the school lottery on that one.
Right after Christmas break, by the way. Yeah.
We have rain here in the Memphis area, and I was so excited when I looked out the window just a couple of minutes ago. I could see my grass. I haven't seen my grass in forever.
Yeah.
Are you able to see your grass yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen that for a while. Like here, where the sun shines, it's amazing. Like stuff would melt, but like where there were shadows and no sun, like it looked like it hadn't changed in a week and a half. It's just that's been the thing.
Chris, let's begin in Gainesville, Florida, where things went from bad to worse for Alabama on Sunday when Alabama lost 100-77 against the Gators. And the Gator faithful was not happy and had some choice words for Charles Bediako at the free throw line. Your thoughts on Alabama and Florida this past Sunday?
Yeah, I think that the G League dropout was a pretty genius flex directed towards Bediako. There was a lot of talking in that game, I think, before one team backed it up. Florida clearly is the best team in the league right now. It won turnovers, I think 18-2, and just kills people on the glass. Alabama's got some issues. Alabama's got a lot of talent, but it reminds me, I guess, of the team a couple of years ago where they're really good, but they just can't seem to, I don't know, maybe piece it together on the defensive end or something. So Now Alabama's played a really tough schedule, and sometimes really good teams make you look bad. I think there's a chance that we look back in March and Alabama wins a few games in the tournament because it's been tested and it has a lot of parts. And also, Alabama's had a lot of guys hurt. There's a lot of pieces there. There's a way that they can piece this back together and look really, really good in the end. But there's also been a lot that's gone wrong for Alabama lately too.
Yes.
Chris, did you laugh out loud when they were saying G League dropout? I giggled. I did.
Yeah, I heard it later. I was in the middle of an airport run to get my wife. I heard about it. And I thought that's pretty genius.
Chris, looking at it, this is the time where every team in America needs to start figuring it out if they want to make March Madness.
Yeah.
You don't need to peak now, but you need to start figuring it out and showing flashes. Who are a few teams in the SEC that you really got your eye on? Like, man, they've almost got it, but who's about to put it together and take that next step forward of making a run toward March?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, Florida's the team right now. Florida has shown that, it doesn't even need to shoot from the outside. It can still score 100 points. And if they do shoot a little bit from the outside, look out. I think Tennessee is starting to make a move. Nate Ament is playing pretty well. They've got some talent. Tennessee's always going to defend you. I think the offense can come and go, but they're a team that can do some things. Arkansas is very talented. A&M, of course, has had that great run, although it's been, I think against the weaker end of the schedule here. So I'm interested to see what happens for A&M coming up with the road stretch at Alabama, Florida at home. They got to go to Vandy in a couple of weekends. That's a lot. But, obviously they're playing very well. And I think Vanderbilt is a team. When Vanderbilt gets healthy, or maybe I should say if Vanderbilt gets healthy, if Vanderbilt gets Duke Miles and Frankie Collins back, this is the team that was awful defensively a couple of weeks ago. When Collins and Miles got hurt, Vanderbilt had to play big. It slowed it down and is really been holding its own on the defensive end. It held Oklahoma and Kentucky to back-to-back season lows. Was pretty good against Ole Miss Saturday. It just to kind of hang on to it and white knuckle it to the finish line. You've seen them play two very different ways. One is fast and getting a lot of steals and getting a lot of easy buckets, and one is they are slowing the tempo to the crawl lately to try to get well. They've had a lot of guys sick too. So that's a team that to me is interesting because they played two completely opposite styles of basketball, which have been dictated by personnel, and they've won both ways. So, like, if they get healthy, they got a lot more parts than I thought they had. I don't think outside of Florida there's a clear-cut number two in this league, but there's a lot of teams that with the right matchups I could make the case.
Looking at everything that's happening in the SEC, who right now is playing the best basketball? Because usually it's not the top teams at the top of the ranking. Sometimes it is. But sometimes there's a team that, hey, they've won 4 of their last 5. Hey, they beat 2 top 25 teams, whatever it might be. Hey, they've scored, they've gotten the 90s 3 of the last 4 games, whatever it is. Who are 2 or 3 teams that are playing really good basketball right now?
Well, one, of course, is Florida. They've got a 23-point win over Alabama and then beat South Carolina 95-48 the game before that, coming off a loss. It's the first game Florida had lost since that SEC opener. So that's an easy one. Obviously, A&M is another easy one. A&M is is in sole possession of first place. And the one loss was a double overtime loss at Tennessee. On the other hand, you're looking down the schedule and, they haven't played Vanderbilt or Florida or they go to Alabama next, which can be tough. Like, they've gotten the soft end of the schedule. Ken Pom is ranking their schedule 16 out of 16. So that's part of it. I like the way Tennessee's looked at times. With Ament starting to figure it out offensively, that they go to Alabama and get that win after that heartbreaking loss to Tennessee, coming off a win over A&M, which was, I think, better than people thought at the time. That they go to Georgia and win, which isn't easy to do. That they beat Auburn, a team that's played pretty well. So I think Tennessee is a team, too, that's kind of starting to show some things. We always kind of know where the cracks are going to be with them.
Right.
Offensively, they just go into funks for periods of time. It's been a thing with Rick Barnes. Doesn't matter the personnel. They do that. And they tend to do it with a lot at stake in postseason. But at the same time, they're always there because they defend so well. And I think with them starting to put some pieces together offensively, they're interesting.
So, Chris, I know that you were on a time crunch this morning. Let's go ahead and get to the games on the schedule. Tonight, we have 2 games at 6 p.m. We've got Ole Miss at Tennessee and South Carolina at Texas. Break down both of those matchups, please.
Ole Miss is in the middle of, I believe, a 6 road game in 7 game stretch. Saw them here at Vanderbilt Saturday, did not lead the entire game, but had 2 3-pointers at the buzzer that could have gone down. Ole Miss is still playing hard. It's not getting blown out of games. You got a couple of guys in Malik Dia and A.J. Storr, and frankly, Elias Camerdine, too, who are nice players for them. Storr and Dia are capable of scoring 25 or 30 on a given night and getting you a win, but Tennessee's playing awfully well. Not going to bet against them in the Food City Center. And South Carolina, I just don't think there's a lot of talent there.
No.
They're going into a Texas team that needs a win, and it's just mercurial. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get from Texas game in and game out. I mean, Texas is a team that we could sit there, on Selection Sunday and say, are they going to get in? They could get sent to Dayton, and we could look up and they're in the Elite Eight. So they're just a big wild card too. But I think they'll take care of business pretty handily against South Carolina, but the almost the most Texas-like thing to do this season would be to kind of fumble it a bit against a team that it should beat.
Chris, moving to Wednesday, we've got 2 games on that night as well. The first one, the first place team, Texas A&M Gig 'em, going up against the Crimson Tide of Alabama, who fell out of the top 25 in this week's rankings after that blowout loss to Florida. And this game is at Coleman Coliseum in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. How do you see it? Alabama and A&M break that game down.
Well, look, Alabama A&M has been just so consistent. They found 6 double-digit scores. Bucky McMillan, who probably is your SEC Coach of the Year, has got them playing really well. They're fun to watch, and it's a great story. And I've talked about, mercurial with Texas. Alabama would like a word here too.
Yeah.
But, in that building with them playing so poorly against Florida, with them having lost at home last weekend to Tennessee, with the game at Auburn coming up, and then going to Ole Miss, which won't be easy. This feels like a spot game for Alabama where you could look up. And I feel like everybody's had this, right, just about in the league, where other than maybe Florida, where you look up and they just have one of these nights. And like Arkansas is a good team to pick. Like they looked so good recently, then they stubbed their toe at home against Kentucky. After Kentucky was just awful at Vandy a week ago, and I was there in the building and couldn't believe what I'm watching. This feels like a spot where A&M could just kind of run into a buzzsaw. I'm looking here online. Tickets as low as $8 at Coleman Coliseum per ESPN. That kind of feels weird to see. That tells you a little bit about where the fan base is.
Yep,
this feels like a spot. Yeah, this still feels like a spot where Nate Oates will have them ready, and they could run into the wrong end of a lopsided score. But, counting on Alabama for consistency also is not that's far from a sure thing right now.
All Chris, right. A bottom team in the rankings, bottom half of the SEC. What's one team you think that's going to make a run? That could make a run and make March.
Bottom half of the standings?
Mm-hmm.
I think your 2 biggest candidates are Alabama and Texas.
Okay.
Just because of the talent.
Wow.
All right. And Chris, let's move to the Saturday slate. We do have a rivalry game, and that, of course, is at 3 p.m. on ESPN2. Oddly enough, it was bumped to ESPN2 because both teams have struggled this season. It is the Iron Bowl of basketball. It is at Auburn, Alabama, Auburn. How do you see that one, and what other game on Saturday piques your interest?
That one is a great one. Auburn certainly. I think both these are NCAA tournament teams, but they're starting to creep up there with the losses. Alabama's got 7, Auburn's got 8.
Yeah.
Auburn has started to find it. Let me fact check myself here. Yeah, with a little bit more consistency. They had a 4-game winning streak before they lost at Tennessee. That included a win at Florida where nobody's winning. Nobody's beating Florida anywhere right now, period, to be frank about it. So I think that points to some upside. Keyshawn Hall's having a terrific year. I just kind of trust Auburn in that building more given the way that Alabama's playing.
Okay. And what other game piques your interest this weekend?
Oh, gosh. I think Florida going to A&M.
Yeah.
If I'm right, A&M will be coming off a loss. Florida's been playing exceptionally well. A&M can really get out and run and maybe neutralize some of Florida's bigs a little bit, but Florida doesn't turn it over a ton either, which is kind of how you get easy buckets sometimes. So I think that one is the most intriguing one. Tennessee and Kentucky, man, in that rivalry, God only knows. Because Tennessee can't defend its home court, but I think is gone to Rupp and won a few times. Recently, I might need to fact check. That one, flip a coin. Whatever I guess is going to be dead wrong. So that one's interesting for that reason. Ole Miss going to Texas. Texas has got to get a win. That might be a last gasp for the season if you're Ole Miss to string some wins together and try to do one of these things where you win a bunch straight to make the tournament. Ole Miss is going to make it up on the back end of the schedule with home games. It's just, are they still interested at that point?
Right.
It's not the most interesting slate. Georgia going to LSU. Georgia's not been great on the road. LSU, more healthy with its point guard back. That they weren't even an easy out with him out. So that's one to watch. But I think Florida A&M, Tennessee, Kentucky, to me, Alabama and Auburn, those are three really, really interesting ones.
And Chris, as we sit here on Tuesday to walk out the door with this interview, it is Super Bowl week. Super Bowl Sunday is this Sunday. Are you going New England or are you going to Seattle?
No idea. Neither of these teams. To be honest, I haven't followed the NFL a lot this year. I'm at the stage of life where my life is what I cover and what my kids are involved in, and my NFL team is awful. So I've been a little checked out on the NFL this year.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe give me Mike Vrabel just because I liked him. He was the last good thing we had in Tennessee. Kind of rooting for him a little bit, but no clue what's going to happen.
Gotcha.
Well, Chris, I got to ask you a question that you do know. If you had to give a grade to Auburn's new basketball coach, the new Coach Pearl, what grade would you give him so far in his first season?
Probably a B minus. It's a tough spot to come into.
Yeah, it is.
They were historically good last year. They had a bunch of transfers. You lose. I mean, it's felt like they had guys that had been there since for the last 10 years on some of that team. You just don't walk away from that and be right at it the next year. Like not even if you're Kansas these days, you don't do that. Much less Auburn. I guess he's done okay. It's almost I don't know. Maybe more of an incomplete, which, I mean, of course it is. The season's not over. But, like, I don't think he's shown me anything that suggests he's not the guy. But I don't know that he's shown me anything to suggest that he is the guy either.
Right.
And they're sitting here 14-8. You'd like to have some of those games back. They got just obliterated early in the season. But, to be fair, it's been a while since Auburn's been uncompetitive in a game. So it does feel like it's on a little bit of an upswing here.
Yes. So, Chris, look, man, thank you as always. Go and enjoy covering all of your content for Southeastern 16. Go ahead and give a plug for that if you would like, and then we will catch up with you later on.
Yeah, Southeastern 16, we cover baseball, basketball, football year-round. I'm mostly involved with baseball at the moment, but we've got other guys covering those other two sports. But if you just want a 30,000-foot view of what goes on at the SEC, just search us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, and you should be able to find us pretty easily. We've usually got multiple pieces of content across multiple sports out every day.
Awesome.
And, Chris, I wish I could say we're down to single digits, but we will be tomorrow. 10 days away from college baseball.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say temperature. I started thinking my head started going one place because I think that may be coming back too after we hit the 50s here in the Nashville area today. We are, and I'm glad to see it back. I think the older I get and the more I appreciate the game we see at the end of the year, I'm just not a huge fan of February baseball. These teams just, with the winter storm, it's put a crimp into so many of the workouts. Watching games in 30 to 35 degree weather, when fingers are frozen, guys can't throw strikes, people can't defend, you're getting used to playing each other. It's just not the best the sports got out there. Now, the games out in warm weather places are a little bit more interesting, but even there, you're looking at guys that are just trying to get in shape. I wish we'd start the season a couple weeks later. At the same time, am I excited it's getting started? Yeah, I'm anxious to see some baseball, even if it's frozen baseball.
I'm with you on that. I'm okay if we push back the season 1 month. The start of spring break, you could have all these classic games and this and that, and I would be completely for that.
I think 1 month is too much. I think then we're probably running a situation where it's going to be fewer games. You're running into issues with summer ball and maybe the draft and God knows what else. But I mean, ideally, yes, I would love that. I mean, I'd love nothing more than us play the College World Series in late July or early August and start the games when it is warm. And then I think that the Northeastern teams would probably like that too, and the Northern teams. But to me, 2 weeks feels like a fair compromise. I think you can work around some stuff, maybe even a week. I don't know, but move it back a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris, As always, thank you, and we will catch up with you next week to continue our talks of SEC baseball.
You bet. God bless you guys and stay safe.
Stay dry and stay warm, brother.
I'll try.
All right, Heath, that wraps up the SEC basketball portion of this show. And Heath, I did notice yesterday getting to Alabama basketball. I'm sorry, Alabama baseball. Alabama finally steps up in competition to open the season. Usually they start off with Little Sisters of the Poor. This year they start off with a former Power 4 team who have now dropped down, but Washington State comes to Tuscaloosa. I am looking forward to that matchup.
Yeah, you'll just have to see teams like Washington State. I'm trying to think of some teams that are good every now and again from up north, Maine.
Yeah,
Folks from the Patriot League, the Continental Athletic Association, those conferences. They spend the first part of the semester on the road.
yeah,
Their baseball team literally is like a minor league team. They're just traveling from city to city playing games because they can't play up north. They
right.
can't.
Yeah,
And so, they're practicing inside a gym. They got to be careful because basketball's still going on. And it's just so hard for those teams up north and the Northeast and the Midwest and even the Northwest to play. I mean, I don't think Boise State has a baseball team anymore. I think they brought it back. COVID came around. They're like, yeah, let's kill this. It's just crazy to see.
right.
I mean, Iowa State, in the Big 12 doesn't have a baseball team. They closed it down in like the 90s, late 90s. I want to say like 96, 97, 98, somewhere around then. That just blows my mind. How can you be in a Power 4 conference and not have a baseball team?
Yeah.
So, I do have an issue with that. But with that, Stephen, it's fun to see some of these teams travel, and your heart immediately goes out to them.
Yeah.
Like, man, these guys have been on the road for 7 weeks. Like, they haven't been home. They're washing their own laundry. They're eating. They haven't had a home cooked meal. I mean, you start thinking about a lot of those things. Like, man, that's got to eventually take a toll on you. Has to. But the backside of the season, they get to play like the last, month at home.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Heath, let's go ahead and transition into the fun talk to end the Stingray Show right after this commercial from one of our wonderful advertisers. We are going to talk National Day of Today, National History of Today, and National Birthdays for February the 3rd. It's a new year, and now is the best time to review your insurance policies with a helpful customer service team here to serve you in Alabama and over in Mississippi. For all of your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs, call the Jeff Nee Agency of Alpha Insurance to create a customized plan to protect your family's home and autos. You can stop by his office at 3428 McFarland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or simply call 205-462-8192, or call the number on your screen right there. And remember, with Alpha Insurance, the more you protect it, the more you save. Reach out to the Jeff Nee Agency of Alpha today for all of your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs. Heath, let's go ahead and do the National Day of Today. And today is February the 3rd, and today is National Take a Cruise Day.
thought you were about to say something else.
I know, take a hike, but no, it's National Take a Cruise Day. So I've got to ask you, have you ever been on a cruise?
Yeah, I've been on two. Cruises are okay. I'm not. If you give me a cruise, I will more than happily accept it with a huge smile on my face and be forever grateful. But I'm not a huge cruise fan.
Right.
I like getting out in the city. I
Yes.
like seeing places. I like talking to locals and like eating at the favorite local spots, not touristy spots. I love doing that, and so with that, I'd rather spend my money and my time exploring a different city or doing that kind of stuff than being stuck on a boat. That
Yes.
drives me crazy. And then, even the cruises that cruise around the Caribbean, oh, we're going to spend one day in Trinidad and one day in Ocho Rios and one day in, Freeport, Bahamas. And that would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
That would drive me crazy because you don't get to experience it. You just basically go to touristy spots. And, I just, yeah, I'm not a fan. I want to experience the city, the culture, and everything instead of the free market that's right outside, the farmer's market right outside the port and things like just
Yeah.
let me get away, man. What about you? Have you ever been on a cruise?
No, and don't want to.
Why do you not want to go on a cruise?
I've heard bad things. I've heard horror stories. I'm not interested in that.
What,
I'm like you. I'd rather stay on dry land.
I don't mind getting on a boat. Like if you told me we're going to get on a boat and we're going to go to uh, Freeport, Bahamas, or Ocho Rios, Jamaica, or wherever, and the boat's going to stay there for 3 or 4 days. Okay, I'm game for that. I
Right.
am game for that because now I get to go explore the city and do stuff. I can get on and off the boat. But just knowing that I'm stuck on that boat for all my meals and everything, I feel like I'm in a jail.
I know.
So yeah, what kind of horror stories have you heard?
Just a lot of people getting sick on cruises and that kind of stuff.
Well, there you go.
Yep. All right. Food alert. Food alert. Are you ready for this, Heath?
I am always ready for food alert.
Today is National Carrot Cake Day.
Steven, have you ever had carrot souffle?
I have.
I love some carrot souffle.
Yep.
Listen, people were like, where do you get carrot souffle? If you got a Piccadilly in your town, go to the Piccadilly.
Yeah.
And get the carrot. You can thank me later. I promise you will love it. Like, I don't know, that doesn't sound too good. It doesn't look too good. It is excellent. It is superb. Man, you know what, Steven? I might get in the car and drive up to Germantown. I think that's the closest Piccadilly we got. And Germantown, Tennessee, and have lunch and give me some of that carrot souffle. But as far as carrot cake, it's okay. It's okay.
Our Piccadilly closed about 5 years ago. It sucks.
It's kind of sad to see some of these Piccadillys close. I'm making fun of the city of Germantown. Although it's a wonderful place. It is. It's a bunch of old people. And if there wasn't a bunch of old people, the Piccadilly would be closed. If there was younger people and younger families, the Piccadilly wouldn't be there. But there's a ton of old people. And I think that's the only reason the Piccadilly is surviving.
All right. Let's go to the national history of today. Heath, can you tell me what is issued for the first time in the colonies on this day in 1690?
What's issued in the colonies in 1690? Oh, geez. Taxes? What does it refer to?
Currency.
Interesting. You stumped me on this one. 1690 because the Treasury's not around.
Massachusetts colony issues the first paper money.
Wow. I would love to see what that looks like.
I know.
So here, I better Google it now before I forget.
February the 3rd of 1690, the Massachusetts colony issues the first paper money.
1690?
Yeah.
1690. That's, Massachusetts paper money. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, wow. It's nothing like we have. It's like handwritten. Check this out. I don't know if you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, well, we got a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, it's like handwritten.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. It's not like a dollar bill or whatever.
Right.
It's more like I guess it's more like a check than it is paper money.
Yeah.
A bill of 20 shilling.
Wow.
That's insane, man. A bill of 20 I wonder how much $20 was back in 1690. We can always ask the famous Google machine.
All right. What university opens its doors for the first time on this day in 1834? And I will tell you, it is an ACC school.
Ask it again.
All right. What university opens its doors for the first time on this day in 1834? And it is an ACC school.
1834. I'm going to say it's not Duke because Duke used to be named something else, and a tobacco farmer gave so much money they decided to name the school after the tobacco farmer. Yeah. His last name was Duke.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's not Duke.
Yeah. So because the tobacco craze was a little bit later for him to get all that money. Let me think of some of the older. I'm going to go out. I could guess all the schools until I get it. I'm going to give myself one guess. I'm going to say Boston College.
Little further south.
I don't think it's NC State.
No. It's in the same state, but not them.
Well, it's got to be North Carolina. No?
I'll give you a hint, and this will give it away.
Wake Forest.
They just beat Mississippi State in the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Wake Forest. I do know this about Wake Forest. I have been to the original campus of Wake Forest, which is in Wake Forest, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Wake Forest is no longer in Wake Forest,
right,
North Carolina. It's in Winston-Salem. The reason being is IBM ages ago, like in the 60s, I do believe. Might have been the 50s, but I think it was the 60s. IBM came in and said, we'll build you a campus and we'll give you $1 million a year if you move the school to Winston-Salem. The school happily said yes to that because that's $1 million a year. Can you believe the school has tried to go back and renegotiate that contract with IBM? Saying, well, $1 million is no longer $1 million. When $1 million was $1 million back in the 50s and 60s, that was a super ton of money.
Yes.
But, Wake being a little extra. They've been a little extra special. But Wake Forest once was known as a Baptist school. I think they still refer to something about Baptist, but it's a very liberal school.
Yeah.
The Baptist church doesn't have anything to do with them. But the old campus in Wake Forest is still a postgraduate college for a seminary. Southeastern Seminary is in Wake Forest, North Carolina. And I've been to that campus and I've played golf there. That's great golf courses.
Nice.
It's a fun place. Wake Forest, North Carolina, fun place. Liked it a lot.
All right, Heath, are you ready to laugh? This one shocked me for the time, but it also made me laugh and laugh out loud.
Let's see what you got. I'm ready to laugh out loud. I'm hoping you get something big for me.
1931, Arkansas legislature passes a motion to pray for the soul of journalist H.L. Mencken after he calls the state of Arkansas, the apex of morons, in his writing in a
Ooh.
newspaper of the Baltimore Sun.
What was this writer's name?
H.L. Mencken.
And he called Arkansas the apex
Apex
of
of
morons.
morons.
Arkansas are considered the apex of morons. That was referred to by H.L. Mencken in 1936?
1931.
31. And so they decided to pray for his soul.
And H.L. Mencken looks like one goofy son of a gun, let me just tell you, man.
I believe you. Wow.
Now, Mencken was an influential American journalist, essayist, satirist, and cultural critic known for his biting wit. He is also known as the creator of The New Yorker.
Oh, wow. That's actually kind of impressive. I wonder why he got his panties in a wad. Oh, yeah. But go up a little bit. Go up. Dude, he looks demon possessed.
The apex of morons, Arkansas. And I'm like, bro, I've got to bring that up.
Wow. I wonder why he called the people of Arkansas, the state of Arkansas,
I have
the
no
apex
idea.
of morons.
No clue, but I was just like, wow.
I want to say, don't ask me why I thought of this. I want to say Arkansas was the first state to do an open heart surgery at the University of Arkansas Med Center, or they were the first state to use a pig's heart for heart surgery. It was one or the other.
Right.
But it just kind of blows my mind.
Well, now, I'm going to tell you right now, we do not feel like that Arkansas is the apex of morons, okay? That is not how we feel on the Stingray show.
Well, that's not what you said after the show the other day, Stephen. You said they were.
No,
Wow.
Wow.
There's something that happened for him to call them
Right.
the apex of morons. But who did you said they voted to pray for his soul?
The legislature did a motion.
A motion, okay.
Yep, to pray for his soul.
Wow. Arkansas took the high road, and I'm proud of you, Arkansas.
Yep.
I'll say this, man, Stephen. Like, I highly doubt I'll ever win the lottery because, one, it's almost impossible, and two, I hardly ever play it. I mean, it got up to almost $2 billion. I didn't even buy a ticket last time.
Right.
Usually, when it gets around $1 billion, I'm like, yeah, I'm willing to waste $4 on that. And I didn't this last time or the last few times actually. But if I ever win the lottery, I would probably have a house. I don't know if it'll be my main house that I'd live in all the time, but I would probably move to Heber Springs, Arkansas.
Right.
Just because it's a small town. It's beautiful there. It's very quiet and peaceful. I wouldn't tell anybody I won the lottery, by the way. But yeah, I could easily see myself retiring in a place like Heber Springs, Arkansas.
Right.
Just because it's beautiful. I'd be out in the lake most days. I'd go fishing most days. I would just enjoy my time there in Heber Springs. But you never been, go. It's beautiful. You'll love it. I don't care if you go camping, you stay in a hotel, you get a bed, Airbnb. I think they have very few bed and breakfasts, but go for it. You'll enjoy it.
Heath, this was major back in the 1940s. And in fact, in 1941, can you tell me, Heath, what the U.S. Supreme Court said on this day in 1941?
Man, we're in the middle of World War II. That's starting to ramp up. We haven't got into it, but things are starting to ramp up. Does it have anything to do with the Germans or the Russians? I shouldn't say Russians. The Russians helped us in World War II.
No.
So nothing political, German or Japan.
No. But I'm sure a lot of people did not like this, though.
Hit me with it.
Nothing to do with war.
What happened?
The U.S. Supreme Court sets the minimum wage and the maximum hours for a workday.
Wow. Does it say what minimum wage was then?
No.
I'll find that out real quick.
And they also did the minimum wage and the maximum hours as known as the Federal Wage and Hour Law. So if you're ever wondering who set your minimum wage and your hour of work, you can thank the Supreme Court in 1941.
Wow. Let's see. What was the minimum wage in 1941? 30 cents an hour.
Jeez, man.
A bill of 20 shilling is now worth $1,620 in today's money. Back, what was that, 1680, 1690, whatever. Yeah, 1690. Yeah, a bill of shilling is worth today's money, $1,620. 30 cents a week. I do know why they enforce the minimum wage and things.
Right.
And I think John R. Rockefeller, or John D. Rockefeller, excuse me. John D. Rockefeller, if he didn't make his money that he thought he was supposed to make that week, he would cut the workers. He's like, why am I taking the hit? I own the company. I'm taking all the risk. I'm not, the workers have to take the hit, not me. They should be happy that they have a job. And so the court came in and said, no, you have to pay. And that's what started minimum wage and everything else. But, Stephen, people used to rent a room back then for like, $2 a week. I mean, you could rent a house back then for nothing.
Right.
But at the same time, 30 cents an hour. Of course, that's minimum wage. But people back then making, $1 a day and for a room is $2 a week. You could get by.
Yep.
But it's crazy to think about. It really is. And then you got guys like John D. Rockefeller who were making tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars,
right,
back then in a year. And that's it's crazy to think about. He is considered the world's richest man of all time.
Yeah.
John D. Rockefeller. So there's a lot of conspiracy stuff out there about him. I don't know if they're true. They could be absolutely true that he's the reason that started liberalism and the feminist movement and this and that, because he said, I have to pay all the taxes. If the women start working, that takes a lot of the tax burden off me. And he kind of pushed that agenda on only because he could save money. It had nothing to do with women's rights. It had nothing to do with women being free and making their own choice. It was all about, I don't have to pay money if women go to work. Right. So fueled that, funded that, pushed that. So there's a lot of things out there. So crazy to think about. I'll say this, Stephen. When we think about families that have a lot of money in the U.S. today, we can think about the Walton family and the Jones family, and you could have all kinds of names, the Gates, the Bezos, and stuff like that. But people rarely think about the Rockefellers. The Rockefellers keep their name shut. Like, they don't do political office. They don't do things. They keep their mouth shut. And they're still, one of the wealthiest families in the world. I don't know. That's always kind of shocked me that you never hear anything out of the Rockefellers anymore.
Heath, Let's go to 1959 on February the 3rd. Something major happened that shocked the entire country as a nation. What plane crash happened February the 3rd of 59?
Trying to think of famous plane crashes. You know what? Did a song come from this plane crash?
Yep, I believe so.
This is where Buddy Holly and I see his face.
Richie Valens,
Yes, thank you. That's who I saw. Richie Valens, Buddy Holly.
Big Bopper.
Yep, they went down on the plane wreck, and the song "American Pie" came from this plane crash.
With that,
Mm.
today is National The Day the Music Died Day. And the reason is because Buddy Holly was 22, Richie Valens was 17, and the Big Bopper was 28. Now, Heath, can you tell me who gave up his seat on that plane to the Big Bopper?
Was it Waylon Jennings? Yeah, because I remember Waylon really struggled with this because Richie Valens got his seat, and Richie made the jokes like, "I hope you don't freeze to death on that bus," and Waylon goes, "I hope your plane crashes." And they laughed and went their separate. Waylon got on the bus. Richie got in the car to go to the airport to get on the plane, and that was the last thing he said to him. And then plane crash, and they said that haunted Waylon for years.
Right.
But yeah, that's terrible, man. That's terrible.
Yep. Today is really the day the music died.
Mm.
All right, Heath, let's talk about something positive.
Hey, quick time out. I do want to get something positive. There is a documentary about the song "American Pie." The day when music died. That lyrics did it over and over and over. There's a documentary about that song. It is actually a wonderful documentary. It will make you smile.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you ever get a chance, I want to say it's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I think it's called "The Day the Music Died" is what the name of the documentary. You know what? I'll find a trailer of that documentary. I'll put it on the Facebook page. But yeah, but it is a song. It's a documentary about the song. And it talks all about the wreck. It talks all about leading up to it, what they were doing that night, how it was decided, who's getting on the bus, who's getting on the plane, how he came up with the lyrics of the song. It just on and on and on. But yeah, I will post that on our Facebook page. But yeah, wonderful documentary. But yes, let's get to something positive, Stephen.
Can you tell me what launches in the UK as a prescription medication on this day in 1969?
Birth control. I have no idea.
Ibuprofen. Ibuprofen launches in the UK for the first time ever under the brand name Brufen as a prescription medication. Now it is the world's most popular anti-inflammatory painkiller.
Wow. I've always been big on Tylenol. My wife loves some ibuprofen. Yeah, even when I get a headache, I try not to take anything.
Right.
But if I do take something, I usually take Tylenol. But my wife, she's always popping the ibuprofen.
Dude, how did people survive before without ibuprofen?
They were tougher than us. But you got to remember the life expectancy back then was so much lower.
Yeah.
People were dying in their late 60s, early 70s.
Right.
That was considered a long life. Now you're not even considered old until you get into your mid late 70s.
Right.
People are living into their 90s now. So, isn't that amazing that we're living so much longer now, but yet at the same time, they were so much skinnier and healthier than we
Right.
are. Um, yeah, there's a balance somewhere in the middle, and probably our grandkids will find it, Stephen.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's crazy to see how things are going.
All right. Heath, going back to music, can you tell me what song peaked at number 2 on the pop single chart on this day in 1979? And it is still very popular at places today.
It topped the chart in 79.
Pop single.
I'm trying to think who was big in 79. But there's a lot of disco hits going on back then.
I believe it was disco.
Kiss even came out with a disco album
Right.
back then. I Was Made for Loving You. One of my favorite Kiss songs.
It is a group. It is a group, but it is not Kiss.
Oh, man, I could shoot in the dark. I am not strong on disco. Go on and tell me.
It's fun to stay at the...
The YMCA.
Yes, sir. That was the top song on the charts on this day in 1979.
Wow. There's a time like pre-middle school, every kid gets to hear that song, and then it just never leaves you. Every time that song comes on, it kind of puts a smile on your face and things. I know that song's turned a little political over the last few years, but yeah, it's always been a fun song, and I hate when anything gets turned political for whatever reason, good or bad. But just people just enjoy music, enjoy the fun, and go through all the things. You play that song still this day at a stadium, and
Yeah.
like every woman under the age of 55 will get up and start doing it. So yeah, it's still fun.
All right, Heath, we've got a couple more, and then we're going to get out of here. Can you tell me what happened on this day in 2023? And you will not like this.
I have no idea what happened in 2023.
All right. Today marked the coldest wind chill ever recorded in the United States, taken at Mount Washington Observatory in New Hampshire, minus 108 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's just stupid, man. That's just stupid. Well, you said it took it out?
No, the coldest wind chill likely ever recorded in the U.S. at Mount Washington Observatory in New Hampshire.
Okay. I thought you were saying that the cold took the observatory. I was like, how did that happen?
No.
Man, that's just stupid. That's just stupid. Like, and I'm sure there's like some nerd that can explain it to us, like exposed skin and that extreme, you have 4 minutes before, frostbite comes in, and you have 9 minutes until you're dead, whatever it might be.
Right.
But dude, that's just, oh my gosh. Like, you would have to get, for me to go even to stay inside a building with it being that cold, you'd have to be into the deck of millions, like 10 million or more. And I'm probably not going to do it for 10 million.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh.
All right. Can you tell me whose birthday is today, who was the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins from 1967 to 1980? And
It's Bob
he
Greasy,
is
wasn't it?
Bob Greasy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Danny Marino out of the University of Pittsburgh. They didn't call him Dan Marino back then. They called him Danny. And Marino jokes about that. Everybody from Pittsburgh, from his college days to his childhood, they called him Danny. Everybody in Miami called him Dan. From Miami on, they called him Dan. So when he hears someone says Danny, he knows it's someone from back home. Since he grew up in the Pittsburgh area. But yeah, Bob Greasy, the longtime quarterback, was the quarterback for that undefeated season. He was injured for a part of it. And then after that, Danny Marino took his spot, and Dan Marino was quarterback for 17, 18 years, something like that.
Right.
So,
All right.
they had two quarterbacks, Stephen, in like over 35 years. Just two quarterbacks. That's crazy. I mean, the Cleveland Browns have had like 30 quarterbacks in like the last 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's insane.
All right. And Heath, deaths. We have 2 that were major. Can you tell me anything about Al Lewis?
His brother was a Saint, St. Louis. Haha, dad jokes. I have no idea. What did Al Lewis do?
My mother will absolutely love this one if she is watching or listening. He was known as Sam Dracula, aka Grandpa, on the series The Monster.
Monsters. Dude, one of the greatest theme songs.
Yeah, 1964 to 1966. Now, Heath, little known fact about Al Lewis. In 98, Lewis ran as the Green Party candidate for governor of New York, requesting to be listed on the ballot as Grandpa Al Lewis, claiming he was best known by that name. His request, though, was rejected by the Board of Elections.
No fun, those guys. But I understand too. Wow. Grandpa Dracula.
Yeah.
That's fun. The Monsters had such a great theme song. You had that electric guitar, that surf guitar playing, and then you had those overbearing tubas. I mean, that was just high school marching band should play that song. Just because I think it would be easy. I don't know. I'm not a music guy, but yeah, those booming tubas coming in. Yeah, those tubas just coming in. Yeah, fun stuff.
All right, and Heath, here is a trivia question to end the show. Can you tell me who died on this day of February the 3rd of 1924? He was the 28th president of the United States.
Oh, man, I used to know all the presidents in order.
1913 through 1921.
This is before Grover Cleveland? No. No. It's before McKinney. It's before Eisenhower. President in the 20s.
Can I give you a hint?
Yeah, you can give me all the hints.
His quote that he is known for: life does not consist in thinking, it consists in acting.
What?
I'll give you another hint.
Was his father a president?
Don't think, no.
Okay.
He suffered a paralyzing stroke in 1919 while still in office.
It was FDR then? No? Who is it?
Woodrow Wilson.
Wow.
Now, some claim that it was his wife who actually ran the government for the remainder of his term of 1919, 1920, and 1921. He did not learn to read until the age of 10, and he would also become the president of Princeton University. And during World War I, he raised sheep on the White House lawn and sold the wool to raise $52,000 for the Red Cross.
Wow. That's impressive. That's actually something that's still being practiced in some of the smaller cities in America. If you hold an office and you die in office, the thing that used to be is your spouse would take over and
Yes.
run the office. And I know here in Mississippi, and I cannot remember the town. I want to say it was in North Mississippi. Oh man, this has probably been the last 10 years. It could have been a little bit longer, but their sheriff passed away, and she filled in as sheriff for like the last 14 months. Because that was still the blue laws. It was up to her first, and she used to be in law enforcement.
Right.
It wasn't like she was brand new to it, but it was a little small town, and she
Right.
filled in, or a small county, but she filled in and took over. I want to say it was over in the Delta somewhere, but yeah, that's actually still practiced today. And I want to say that that's a blue law that's still in a lot of the books. So even in your little town, our big town, wherever you're listening to us from, thanks to Al Gore's internet, um, there's probably a blue law that says if the mayor passes away or the sheriff or the alderman or the dog catcher or whoever, it's probably a blue law still on the book that says their spouse has first refusal to the job. And people always get shocked when this pops up like, oh, how old is this? Oh, this is old fashioned. We need to get rid of it. And no one ever does. So, yeah. But I will say this, Stephen. Rarely do you ever see somebody do it at the beginning of their term, but it sounded like Miss Wilson, the first lady, did at least 2.5, 3 years of running our country. She's our first female president.
Yeah. All right. Heath, I'm not about to get political. I'm not. At all, period. But did you see what happened yesterday?
Stephen, my ADD is out of control. I just thought of a song for Weird Al. It's Let's Get Physical by Olivia Newton-John. I'm not going to get political. Sorry. I got to send that to Weird Al via Twitter. Thanks, Al Gore's internet. No, I didn't hear what's going on. What happened?
You either love the guy or you absolutely despise the guy. But Heath, this was incredible generosity, whether you love him or hate him.
Are you talking about Elon Musk?
Elon Musk donated over 500 generators to the state of Mississippi, mostly in Tippah County, for all of the disaster that Mississippi went through with the ice storm. We really want to thank Elon for stepping up to bat for the people of Mississippi. Love him or hate him, he did not have to do that, and he went the extra mile for the people of Mississippi. And for that, congratulations and thank you immensely for doing so.
Yeah, Elon Musk. Again, you said it perfectly and just right, Stephen. I don't care what you think about his cars, his political views, what he ate last week, or the children he's impregnated women with. What he did the other day showed a son that he loves humanity, the human race. And I could hear some haters out there like, well, there's 7,000 people without power. And he's only going to send 500 generators. He didn't have to send any.
Right.
Generators aren't cheap.
Yes.
He sent 500. I do know that there's a lot of generators running in Tippah County.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't be shocked if he if he asked the question of how many generator sales do you think have happened in the last couple of years? And, I wouldn't be shocked if he got data and he came up with that number 500. He's like, oh, so we think there's 487? Get 500 generators and send them over there. Like, I made that up, but I wouldn't be shocked.
Yes.
And the great thing about what he did, I think it will inspire other organizations, churches, individuals, billionaires, millionaires, Boy Scout troops, whoever, to step up and say, hey, we can only afford one generator. We're going to get them one generator. We're going to send it to them.
Yes.
I tip my hat. Anyone that steps out, it helps the human race, even if I like them or I don't.
Right. Thank you for that.
Yeah, because it shows that they have a heart. It shows that they care.
Yes.
And that's the bigger picture.
End of the day, Heath, regardless of your political party, we're all human beings and we all suffer the same way when storms come through, like the one in Mississippi. It's not just affecting Republicans and it's not just affecting Democrats, it's affecting both.
Yeah. And I've said this on the show. Matter of fact, we talked about this the other day on Sunday with some folks. It was actually Sunday school, come to think about it. But I made this statement. Just about all of us, and please listen, I don't care who you voted for, when's the last time you voted, if you haven't voted or what. This will go for Alabama and Auburn fans. This will go for State and Ole Miss fans. This will go between Tennessee and Kentucky, their fan bases. Look, the rivalries are fun and everything is this and that.
Yeah.
But we have to stop disqualifying people on who they voted for, who they cheer for. Like, I'm okay with the rivalry. The rivalry's fun. Rivalries are fun. That's why we have them. That's why we enjoy them. That's why we enjoy getting up for those games and paying attention to those games. But at the end of the day, and I'm speaking more politically here, it doesn't matter who you voted for. It doesn't matter this and that, because at the very end of it all, we have more in common than we have disagreements with and things that we don't agree on. And here's the thing. Do both sides, you can pick any issue, any political party, any team, anything. You can pick both sides and look at it from like this, from both sides. Do they both want happiness for themselves and for loved ones? Do they want security and opportunity for the folks they love and their friends? Do they want them to feel welcome and have a place to prosper? The answer is yes. We all want those things for our children, for our friends, for our family. We all want those things. And so at the very end of the day, those things are more important than who we voted for and who we cheered for and our thoughts on abortion, our thoughts on, whatever hot topic issue that you could come up with. We have so much more in common, and the smart people have figured it out. The wise people have known it forever. Stop with all the dividing, like, well, they voted for so-and-so. Oh, they supported this.
Yeah.
They cheer for this school. So what?
Mm-hmm.
They're still a human, and they still have the same, you probably like the same movies. You probably like the same music. You probably like the same restaurants and things to eat. You have so much more in common with who you think your enemy is.
Yeah.
Whatever country you think that have biggest beef with right now in America, whether that be the Russians or the Chinese or whoever, or the Middle East, whatever country you can dream up in your head and scenario, whatever political party you can dream up in your little head, you have more in common with the opposite side. You absolutely do. And don't lie to yourself or to anybody else. You have more in common with the other side. And you like the same movies. You probably like the same food. You probably like the same TV shows. You probably like the same music. You like that for your kids to play. Your kids probably play with the same things. You have so much more in common than different. And people need to figure that out.
Heath, I think that is a perfect segue to end the Stingray Show for this Tuesday. When we come back tomorrow, we're going to be having another great show for you guys. And then on Thursday, we will have a basketball legend in the state of Mississippi join us. That is the next two shows right here on the Stingray Show. And Heath, we will see you on the Tuesday edition of the Stingray Show. Stay dry out there because, of course, like you said, it is raining up there in the Memphis and Hernando, Mississippi area. And we will catch you on the Wednesday edition of the Stingray Show.
I welcome this rain, get this snow and ice, get the snow out of my yard, get this ice off my street.
Right.
And Steven, looking forward to tomorrow. Sayonara. I'll see you tomorrow.
And Heath, stay right there because I need to chat with you after the show about a potential guest that we could have tomorrow, okay?
Tell Tom Cruise I'm too busy. So
I wish. All right.
He left me hanging out in San Diego on a boat, crashed against the rocks. I'll never forget that, Tom Cruise, actually. I'm sure I would love to tell him that story so he could laugh. But
hey, we'll have to dive into that tomorrow.
We'll do.
All right. Thank you, man. But stay right there because I want to chat with you, okay?
All right. Sounds good.
All right. See you, man.
All right, man.
See you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Ferguson of South's Finest Meats, the official sponsor of the Stingray Show, has a message for you.
Everything we do here is fresh and custom made, custom to order. I tell people when they come in, if you don't see what you like, ask somebody. We've got the capability to process it, make it. If you want a different blend of hamburger meat, we'll do your brisket blend. We'll do your chuck blend. We'll do your sirloin blend. We do all that right here. We are a butcher shop. That's what we do. So please don't be afraid to ask if you don't see what you like. We can make you any size patty you want. We can make you any amount you want. People call me and say, well, how many patties come in the box? Well, ma'am, how many would you like in a box? You want 12, we'll put 12. You want 25, we'll put 25.
That's just one of the many things that South's Finest Meats has to offer, the official butcher shop of the Stingray Show. It's a new year, and now is the best time to review your insurance policies. With a helpful customer service team here to serve you in Alabama and over in Mississippi. For all of your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs, call the Jeff Nee Agency of Alpha Insurance to create a customized plan to protect your family's home and autos. You can stop by his office at 3428 McFarland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or simply call 205-462-8192, or call the number on your screen right there. And remember, with Alpha Insurance, the more you protect it, the more you save. Reach out to the Jeff Nee Agency of Alpha today for all of your auto, home, life, and business insurance needs. For over 100 years, the Bank of Moundville has been a name clients can trust. The Bank of Moundville is more than just a bank. They're your neighbors, your friends, and your community partners. Their unique approach to financial education has always centered around families. They believe that financially strong homes today lay the foundation for a brighter futures for tomorrow's generation. You can call them today at 205-371-2227. Once again, that is 371-2227 to schedule an appointment to build your financial security. The Bank of Moundville is a member FDIC and an equal housing lender.